Stop searching for a job and begin trusting the infinite intelligence within you. Dr. Joseph Murphy teaches us that when you align your mind with God's divine plan, the right work, the right opportunity, and the right prosperity come to you effortlessly. You were never meant to struggle, compete, or live in fear about your future. God's plan for you is already complete, already perfect, and already in motion. When you release anxiety and stop forcing outcomes, the subconscious mind opens the doors no human effort could ever unlock. The job you are seeking is not outside you, it is being prepared for you by divine law. As you listen to this message, allow faith to replace worry, trust to replace doubt, and know with absolute certainty that God has a bigger, better, and more fulfilling plan for your life. Most people move through life guided by fear without realizing how deeply it controls their decisions. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not having enough, and fear of being left behind quietly program the subconscious mind. When you operate from fear and lack, you are sending a powerful message to the deeper mind that something is missing, that life is unsafe, and that you must struggle to survive. According to Dr. Joseph Murphy's teachings, the subconscious mind accepts this message as truth and faithfully produces experiences that match it. This is why anxious effort often leads to closed doors instead of open ones. Fear creates tension, and tension blocks the natural flow of divine intelligence. When the mind is strained, it cannot hear guidance. When the heart is heavy with worry, it cannot receive inspiration. You may apply to countless jobs, chase opportunities, and force outcomes, yet feel exhausted and unseen. This is not because you are unworthy, but because fear-driven action contradicts the universal law of supply. The universe does not respond to panic, it responds to belief. Operating from lack also distorts self-perception. You begin to see yourself as someone trying to get instead of someone created to receive. This mindset subtly lowers your expectations and limits what you allow yourself to imagine. Dr. Joseph Murphy emphasized that God's abundance is infinite, and when you believe resources are scarce, you unknowingly shut yourself off from that abundance. The subconscious mind cannot create prosperity while it is occupied with survival. To stop operating from fear, you must first become still. Stillness is not inaction, it is alignment. When you calm the mind and replace anxious thoughts with faith-filled affirmations, you reprogram the subconscious with a new truth, that you are supported, guided, and provided for. Statements such as God's wisdom directs me now, or I am divinely employed in the perfect way plant seeds of confidence that grow into real opportunities. As fear dissolves, clarity emerges. You begin to feel inspired rather than pressured. Ideas arise naturally, conversations happen effortlessly, and doors open without struggle. This is the law in action. When you release fear, you no longer block the flow of divine provision. You step out of survival mode and into cooperation with a higher plan. From this state, the right work does not need to be hunted. It comes to you, drawn by the calm certainty that you are exactly where you need to be, guided by a power far greater than fear. Trusting the divine plan already in motion requires a shift away from visible evidence and toward inner knowing. Many people believe they must see results before they feel secure, but Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that faith works in the opposite direction. You feel secure first, and the results follow. The divine plan for your life does not begin when you understand it. It begins when you accept that a higher intelligence is already coordinating events on your behalf. Long before you felt uncertain or confused, the plan was unfolding quietly, perfectly, and with purpose. When you doubt the plan, you interfere with it through mental resistance. Worry, impatience, and constant questioning act like static in the mind, making it difficult to receive guidance. Trust is not passive resignation, it is active cooperation with divine law. To trust means to mentally agree with the idea that you are being led, even when the path is not yet visible. Dr. Joseph Murphy often reminded us that the subconscious mind responds to conviction, not to pleading. The more confidently you assume that everything is working for your good, the more smoothly events align. The divine plan does not operate on human timelines. What appears as delay is often preparation. People, opportunities, and circumstances must come together in precise order. If something has not arrived yet, it is not being withheld, it is being perfected. Trust allows you to remain peaceful during this period, which keeps your mind open and receptive. Anxiety closes the door to intuition, but trust keeps it wide open. As trust deepens, you begin to notice subtle signs of alignment. Ideas feel lighter, decisions become clearer, and the pressure to force outcomes fades. You are no longer chasing the future. You are allowing it to approach you naturally. This state of trust transforms your inner dialogue. Instead of asking, "What if nothing works out?" you begin affirming, "Everything is unfolding exactly as it should." Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that the subconscious mind is the servant of belief. When you consistently believe that a divine plan is active and reliable, the subconscious organizes experiences to reflect that belief. Chance meetings, unexpected offers, and perfectly timed opportunities appear with ease. What once seemed uncertain becomes orderly. Trusting the divine plan does not mean doing nothing, it means doing the right thing at the right time without fear. Inspired action replaces frantic effort. You move forward with calm assurance, knowing you are supported by infinite intelligence. In this state, life no longer feels like a struggle to control outcomes, but a graceful unfolding of something far greater than you could design alone. Releasing anxiety and forced effort begins with understanding that struggle is not a requirement for success. Many people have been conditioned to believe that unless they push harder, worry constantly, and exhaust themselves, nothing will change. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that this belief is not only false, but counterproductive. Anxiety signals to the subconscious mind that there is danger or lack, and the subconscious faithfully responds by producing more situations that justify that feeling. When you act from tension, you resist the very flow that could carry you forward with ease. Forced effort is the mind trying to control outcomes it does not need to control. It comes from the fear that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart, yet the opposite is true. When you relax the mind, you create space for divine intelligence to work through you. Anxiety clouds perception, narrows options, and causes you to overlook opportunities that arrive quietly rather than dramatically. A calm mind is perceptive, an anxious mind is blind. Dr. Joseph Murphy emphasized the importance of mental rest. This does not mean laziness or withdrawal from life, but a deliberate release of inner pressure. When you stop mentally wrestling with problems, the subconscious mind begins to offer solutions. Many breakthroughs occur not during frantic effort, but during moments of calm, when walking, resting, or praying. This is because the subconscious works best when the conscious mind is at ease. Letting go of forced effort also restores self-trust. When you constantly push, you imply that you do not trust life, God, or yourself. Releasing effort is a declaration of faith. It says, "I believe I am guided, even when I do not see the next step." This inner assurance changes the quality of your actions. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond intuitively. Instead of chasing every option, you recognize the right one. Anxiety often disguises itself as responsibility, but true responsibility comes from clarity, not fear. When the mind is peaceful, you take actions that are effective rather than exhausting. You speak with confidence, make decisions with ease, and attract cooperation instead of resistance. Others sense this calm certainty and respond to it. As anxiety dissolves, your nervous system settles and your thoughts become ordered. You begin to feel supported rather than pressured by life. This shift allows divine timing to operate without interference. Opportunities arrive naturally without strain, and progress feels steady instead of forced. By releasing anxiety and effort, you align with a higher rhythm, one where success flows from inner harmony rather than constant struggle. allowing inspired opportunities to find you require a complete shift from striving to receptivity. Most people are taught to hunt for success, to chase doors, and to prove their worth through constant effort. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that this approach keeps the mind locked in struggle consciousness. Inspired opportunities do not respond to desperation or force, they respond to alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and expectations are in harmony with faith, the right openings come to you naturally. Inspired opportunities are not random events. They arise from the subconscious mind when it is impressed with clarity, confidence, and trust. When you repeatedly affirm that you are guided by divine intelligence, your subconscious begins to attract circumstances that match that belief. You may suddenly feel drawn to a conversation, an idea, or a place without logical explanation. These impulses are not accidents, they are signals from the deeper mind directing you toward your next step. Dr. Joseph Murphy emphasized that intuition becomes clear only when the mind is calm. A noisy, anxious mind cannot distinguish inspiration from impulse. When you allow yourself to slow down mentally, you become more sensitive to subtle guidance. Opportunities often appear quietly, through a casual recommendation, an unexpected message, or a moment of insight. If you are constantly forcing action, you may overlook these gentle signals. Allowing opportunities to find you does not mean passivity, it means remaining mentally available. You prepare your mind through faith-filled expectations and your actions through readiness. You stay open, curious, and responsive rather than rigid and impatient. This openness creates a magnetic quality. People sense when someone is aligned and confident, and they are naturally drawn to support, collaborate, or offer opportunities. When inspired opportunities arrive, they often feel effortless. There is a sense of rightness rather than struggle. The timing makes sense, the energy feels calm, and the next step appears clear. This is a key distinction between inspired action and forced action. Inspired action feels guided, forced action feels draining. As you practice allowing rather than chasing, you begin to trust life more deeply. You notice that when you stop grasping, things flow. Doors open without resistance, solutions appear without stress, and progress feels steady instead of exhausting. This reinforces faith in the subconscious mind, creating a positive cycle of trust and manifestation. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that the subconscious mind is always working, even when you are resting. When you allow inspired opportunities to find you, you cooperate with this unseen process. You stop interfering with worry and effort, and you let divine intelligence arrange events in your favor. In this state of allowance, success becomes a natural outcome rather than a constant pursuit. Receiving work meant for your true purpose begins with recognizing that you are not designed to merely fill a role, but to express something unique through what you do. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that divine intelligence never creates without intent. Your talents, interests, and natural inclinations are not accidents. They are clues pointing toward the work that fulfills you and serves others at the same time. When you seek work only to survive, you may accept what drains you. When you seek alignment, you open the way for work that fits your deeper nature. True purpose. Work feels different from ordinary labor. It carries a sense of meaning and contribution rather than obligation. This does not mean the work is always easy, but it feels right. There is an inner confirmation, a quiet sense of belonging that tells you you are where you are meant to be. Dr. Joseph Murphy emphasized that this feel-in is guidance from the subconscious mind responding to faith-filled expectation. When you assume that the right work exists for you, your subconscious begins moving you toward it. Many people block purposeful work by settling too quickly or doubting their worth. They believe meaningful work is reserved for others, not for them. This belief is silently accepted by the subconscious and reflected in experience. When you change the assumption to "I am divinely placed where I can do my best and be well rewarded," you begin to attract opportunities that match that conviction. Receiving work aligned with your purpose also requires patience. Purpose unfolds in stages. Sometimes a position prepares you, refines your skills, or introduces you to the right people. Nothing is wasted when you trust divine order. Even temporary roles can be stepping stones when approached with awareness and faith. As you align with your true purpose, effort begins to feel lighter. You are more engaged, more creative, and more confident. Others notice this enthusiasm and respond positively. Recognition, growth, and reward come more naturally because you are operating from authenticity rather than obligation. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that when you are in harmony with your purpose, supply flows easily. You no longer feel you must prove yourself constantly, because your value is expressed naturally through what you do. This inner assurance removes fear of loss and replaces it with confidence in continuity. Receiving work meant for your true purpose is not about forcing a perfect outcome, it is about trusting the process of alignment. As your beliefs shift from survival to service, from fear to faith, the right work finds you. In that place, your abilities are used fully, your contribution is meaningful, and your livelihood becomes an expression of who you truly are. As we bring this message to a close, remember this truth. Your life is not governed by chance, competition, or fear. It is governed by divine law. You were never meant to exhaust yourself searching, striving, or worrying about your future. The moment you choose faith over fear, trust over tension, and alignment over struggle, everything begins to change. God's plan for you is already complete, already active, and already moving you toward the right place at the right time. When you stop operating from lack, release anxiety, and align your subconscious with faith, you remove the blocks that delay your good. You allow inspired opportunities to come to you, and you make room for work that fulfills your true purpose. This is not wishful thinking, it is the practical application of spiritual law. What you consistently believe and feel as true must express itself in your experience. Do not measure your progress by appearances, measure it by your inner state. Peace is a sign that you are aligned. Calm expectation is evidence that faith is working. Trust that every delay is preparation, every closed door is protection, and every step is guided by infinite intelligence. You are never behind, and you are never forgotten. From this moment forward, walk with quiet confidence. Affirm that you are divinely employed, abundantly supported, and perfectly guided. Let go of fear and allow life to meet you where faith resides. When you do, you will discover that the work meant for you arrives naturally. The provision you need appears effortlessly, and your path unfolds with clarity and purpose. Remain faithful, remain receptive, and remain still within. What is meant for you cannot miss you. God's bigger plan is unfolding now.